Alright, we live. Let's see if anybody comes in. I doubt they will. I guarantee ain't many notifications out. Another barge is coming through real quick. Yes, on this thing, not follow by. Alright, still nobody in here, huh? Oh well, we'll wait and see. We'll see if anybody comes in. I'm definitely frustrated, so. Says I got one person in here. I appreciate it coming in. Sorry, I had to end the live a minute ago. As soon as I started going live, the rain started moving in again. So I had to shut the live and run the camera out, and as soon as I ran the camera out, it stopped raining. It might come back, I don't know. I'm gonna put my good gear up, and the rest of it can sit out here in the rain. I don't care. It rains. Right before I went live on here, I was live on TikTok. Landed, I think, was my first mirror carp ever. Live on TikTok. I turned around and looked up, and it said my live had ended due to violating guidelines. I don't know how you violate guidelines by catching a fish, but apparently you violate guidelines on TikTok for catching a fish. So, something told me just come out here and go straight on YouTube like I normally do, but everybody was asking me to go on TikTok. That's why I don't do it. Eugene, how's it going? Yeah, it's ridiculous. I was on there and I was doing like I do on here. I wasn't cussing or nothing else, which you're allowed to do on there anyway, but I wasn't cussing or nothing else. And sure enough, I landed a carp, about a good 8-10 pound carp. Looked like it was a mirror carp actually, which would have been my first in my life. And I was like, hey, I said, that's a nice fish. I said, I'm gonna let him go. And I put him back in the water, and I come back up here, and it said, you broke guidelines, your live is ended. I'm like, that makes no sense whatsoever. But I can't make sense of anything, because that stuff anyway, it don't make no sense. I'd rather be on here YouTube with all my YouTube people, personally. We ain't got real good baits today, y'all. We're probably gonna be out for about an hour. I've been out for about 4, and I've been trying to catch some bait fish, which is what I got carp rod out for. But I wasn't gonna kill no nice carp like that for bait. Not gonna do that. So I put him back. So I'm running this first rod right here. It's a little light green one right here in the front. Is my carp rod. I'm running a pack bait. I got the method feeder, the imitation corn on it. The purple rod is my night crawler rod, and I got scallops on the last 2 rods. And the pink and the green rod down there got scallops on it, which do not stay on the hook. Yeah, I don't know what I did wrong, but It is what it is, y'all. I just hope this rain holds off. It's supposed to clear up and be clear skies after 5 o'clock. I'll be leaving here probably shortly after that, but you know, as long as we get through till 5 o'clock and it clears out, we'll be good. They've been attacking that carp rod all night. That was the first one I landed. I had 5 or 6 real good hits on it where they bent that rod real well, real good. But they didn't commit. That last one, when he hit, he committed. He wasn't playing no games with it. Hoping I get another one come through here and grab it. I guarantee it won't be a mirror like that one was, though. That one was missing, it had scales across the top. The scales on the bottom was patchy and had different size scales on it. Looked like a mirror carp to me. Different size scales all over it. Yeah. Pretty cool catch. I actually wish I would have been on here because I would have it on film, but oh well, it is what it is. I didn't have my other cameras rolling, and I didn't think to turn my no-pro on. Me neither. That's the thing. And I'm pretty sure that's what it was. See, that's what I said too, Eugene. I don't normally do TikTok. I mean, I put myself on there to try to do the same thing that everybody else did, to try to get my channel shared out. I've got a lot of friends also that I fish with that won't go on YouTube for some reason. All they'll do is TikTok, so I figured I'd go on both and do both. That way I can, you know, talk to my friends that are on there that won't come to YouTube. And I only went live on there maybe 4 times in the last 2 years. I don't normally go live, and everybody was bugging me to go live. And I went live, and I'm like, okay, and live was turning out good. I mean, I had Cali Bear come in, and a few other ones come in. You hear off of YouTube, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, it's going to be a good night. At one point in time, I had almost 250 people in my live, so I was excited. It was going good. And then all of a sudden, I catch that carp, and they shut me down. I don't understand it. It's just going to prevent me from going on there anymore. I done sent them an awful message saying I like. I basically, when they asked me, do I object to the guidelines being broke, and I told them, yeah, I said, I want to know what I did, because they give you a little comment thing. I said, I want to know what I did and what kind of drugs y'all are on for thinking I did something wrong. You think I like that too much. Yeah, I was excited. It was the first carp I caught that I do believe was a mirror carp. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was. Everything I've seen on mirror carp, because I've never seen one in person, says that was a mirror carp. I mean, it had skin, part of the skin had no scales at all, and you can tell they wasn't pulled off, they just never had scales there. Scales with different sizes, there's different patterns on both sides of the fish. You had smaller scales, bigger scales that was overlapping each other, real funky patterns, different colorations in the scales. Everything on it to me says mirror carp. But we shall never know. That's why if this water calms down from this barge, maybe they'll come back through here. I've been getting bites in this carp rod all night. That's what it sounds like to me. What it looked like to me when I caught it. I wish I would have been smart enough. I got a GoPro strapped to my chest and never thought about turning it on. But I sit out here, I'm in the worst fishing conditions you can be in. We've had storms nonstop for 2 weeks. I mean, last week on TikTok, I posted a video of the storm rolling through. I was gonna put it on YouTube, but I figured they wouldn't want to see it. The storm rolling above my head, above my house, big funnel cloud and stuff. It's been raining nonstop for 2 weeks. Tonight's the first night without rain. Well, we had thunderstorms at midnight, severe thunderstorms, and then I come out right after they ended, and they said there's a 15% chance of rain till 5 o'clock in the morning. I said, I'll take them odds. 15% chance I'll take. And I get out here, we got a full moon. The water was up by 6 foot. They've dropped it 2.5 foot since I've been down here. So we got a water drop, and I've got the worst baits I can ever think possible. I got night crawler, I got the pack bait for carp, and I've got scallops that won't stay on the hook. Which here in a minute I need to check them big rods for the scallops, because I'm pretty sure they've probably already come off. I can see how the scallops will work pretty good. They do have a real strong fishy smell, but getting them to stay on the hook is another thing. They just don't work. Earlier I went to cast out and cast a few of them off. Oh yeah, it was crazy over here, down here in Louisville. I mean, I might still post that video, but yeah, it shows the actual funnel clouds coming over top of the house. You can see the storm coming in from 2 different angles. You can see the storm coming this way, and then you can see the clouds going this way against it as it was coming like this. And they said that the funnel cloud tried to touch down about a half mile past my house. Luckily, it did not touch down, which is the main thing. I mean, it sent the sirens off, and you've seen it come down like this to get ready for them, and then it goes right back up. So we got lucky. I mean, I would have been safe where I was at because it already passed my house up. But at the same time, you know, less than a half mile from my house is where it would have landed. So that wouldn't have been a good area to land in. A lot of businesses out there. There's a bunch of apartment complexes that was right there in that area. So it wouldn't have been too great. Yeah, right before I went live on here, the wind had just slowed down. The bite had just started getting hot. My night crawler rod was actually getting hit. My carp rod had just caught a fish. And then I don't know what happened. It went crazy. That's okay. I'm out here at least for another hour. We're gonna fish. We're gonna try to land some fish. Now I got a possible trip coming up into this week. I'm not sure if we're going to go or not, but we're supposed to be heading to Kansas and Missouri at the end of this week. And while I'm out there, I'm going to try to do some fishing on the Kansas River and the Missouri River. Try to see if I can't hook into some of them monster flatheads. That is, if I can figure out how to get my rods in the car. That part I haven't figured out. All my rods are 7 foot, 7'6", one-piece rods, and we're gonna have the car full and have 4 people in the car. So I gotta figure out how to get the rods in the car. I was gonna order a roof rack for it and give me a giant piece of PVC and put it inside of PVC piping, but the way her car is designed and as soft as that roof of her car is, I really don't want to put a roof rack up there. I'm afraid it's going to bend something. I may have to leave the Mad Catz rods at home and just take my Muddy River rods. I don't leave home without them anyway, but I've been fishing. The pink rod's a Muddy River flathead rod, and the green rod lit up down there is a Mad Catz poison ivy rod. I've been trying to keep them together all year because I'm putting them up against each other for the fun of it. I'm a diehard Muddy River person. And I like the Mad Cats, don't get me wrong, but I think my Muddy River rods are just luckier rods for me. Of course, that Mad Cats rod did break my PB this year. But so far for the year, I've caught 1 fish on the Mad Cats and 4 on the Muddy River rod. So, Muddy River rod is taking the lead. I need to get out fishing more is what I need to do. Sorry y'all, I apologize if that wind noise is real bad. Like I said, the wind had just picked back up. It had died down to nothing. This water had gotten so calm that it was just unreal. Now the wind's picking back up. Hopefully it'll die back down here in a minute or two. I'm back gonna check my weather app and see what it says about the winds. I had originally planned on being home by this time, but I figured, you know what? I'm already out here. I'm gonna stay. Makes it easier walking out here right at sunrise so I can see where I'm going to the woods. Well, actually, they're saying the wind's gonna pick up. Saying it's 5 miles an hour right now, but then at 7 o'clock it's gonna hit 7 miles an hour, then 10 miles an hour. Yeah, well, I'll be home by then, so it won't matter. I'll just deal with the winds the way they are. I don't care. Yeah, the waves is coming from the, well, we had a barge go through a minute ago, but a lot of those waves are coming from the wind too, making that water real choppy. And see, that's what I was, the whole time I was out here for the couple hours I was out here messing around on TikTok, I was hoping the wind would stop and the water would calm down. And sure enough, like I told them on there, as soon as that water calmed down, that carp rod went crazy. I got a hit on the purple rod, and the pink rod started bouncing. As soon as the wind stopped and that water calmed down, it was just game on. So I'm hoping it'll stop again here soon. Here in about 5 minutes, I need to check the pink and green rod for the scallops to see if they're still on there. I mean, they're so soft that I'm casting them out there with you know, just barely any pressure to keep them casting them off, and they're literally, it's like fishing with chicken livers. The current in the river is actually washing them off. I can see how they would work. I mean, they got a good fishy smell to them. They smell like bait, so I pulled them out of the bag and everything else, try to let them dry out a little bit. I figured if I let them dry a little bit, like you do livers, maybe they'll toughen up, but they ain't drying out too good. Even with this wind blowing the way it is, it ain't drying out too well. Come on, let's get another carp. I probably should have weighed that carp just in case it was a mirror. Oh, they do smell fishy, real fishy. Yeah, I probably should have weighed that carp because I'm saying I'm gonna say it's a mirror carp. I'm 99% sure it's what it was, and that'd be my first one and everything else, but I didn't weigh it. I know he was at least 7 pounds, 8 pounds. Something's hitting the carp rod now, y'all. The wind starts slacking down a little bit. Now the carp rod's getting hit already. Let's see what happens. See if he commits. I'll take carp all night. I don't care. Especially on that rod. That's a loose cat daddy rod. It's supposed to be a medium heavy. It's more like a light. That's why I started using it for a carp rod. And I tell you what, it works perfect. It's got just enough bend in it to where they'll hook themselves, but it doesn't pull too hard. I'm only running 12-pound test line on there, so I've got the drag set about 6 pounds. And I tell you what, he's running that drag off there. I did get a basic measurement of him, so I might have to see if they got a chart for that like they do catfish. Length versus girth or whatever it is. See if I can get an estimated weight and go about a pound under that. That way I can keep it legit, you know. I try to do everything legit on my channel. I don't lie about what I catch and what I don't catch or nothing else. And I don't want to put a fake weight on anything, so see if I can get close to it and then underrate it a little bit. It just irritates me. I should have had my other cameras going. Normally when I'm down here live on whatever, if I'm on TikTok or YouTube, I normally got 2 other cameras going, but I tried to go light this trip because I wanted to try out this little light I got, which seems to work pretty good. Because if we go to Kansas, I gotta lighten my load, and I wanted to try this little light out and see what it does. It ain't super bright, but you know what? It does the job. Lights up the rods good. I can see the bank to walk around, so I'd say it's a win. I said it'll do the job. It runs on a power bank. It's looks like a little house light's what it looks like. It's a little camping light that you run off a power bank. I've had it on for close to 4 hours now, 5 hours, since I got down here and started setting up. Let's see here. Yeah, about 4 hours. And it hasn't got dim yet. And as far as I know, the power bank still got over half charge on it, so I'll call that a win. Yeah, it's working pretty good. I mean, I do got my ring light on too, but let me see here. Let me turn this ring light down and see what happens. Turn it off for a second. Yeah, it's lighting it up pretty good. That's just a little camping light by itself. I can see pretty good without the ring light, so that does pretty good. I'd say it's a plus, and it was only $8. $8 on Amazon. Take that average any day. And that thing weighs less than a pound. Now I gotta just find me a little telescopic rod that weighs that gets tall enough, because right now I've got like canopy poles stuck together, which are lightweight too, and I've only got 3 of them stuck together, so it's only up off the ground about 9 foot. If I set it up the way I had it up last year, set it up about 12 foot up, it should have at least it should light up even better than what it's doing now, but I definitely can't complain about what it's doing. There's sirens, or I heard sirens. Chris, how's it going? Thanks for coming in. Yeah, that we had a. It was supposed to be cleared up. They said that at 4 o'clock in the morning we from well they said from 1 o'clock till 4 o'clock we only had a 15% chance of rain. And I get out here and there wasn't a cloud, hardly any clouds in the sky. I'm like, well, I'm good with that. I'll take that. And then all of a sudden, just about maybe a few minutes before I went live again on here, the whole sky turned gray over here in the Indiana side. Cause I'm on the Kentucky side. I could see the Indiana side, and it was literally coming up over the mountains, and it was just dark. I'm like, well, that ain't good. And then they changed it and said it was a thunderstorm coming. I'm like, well, y'all don't know how to forecast the weather. And then they said the moderate thunderstorm ends at 5 o'clock in the morning. So it's starting to clear up a little bit, though. A minute ago, you couldn't even see the moon at all. So I'll take us seeing the moon through the clouds here and there as a win. I do need to check these rods down here, though, y'all. Those two last rods. Those are the ones that got the um, scallops on them. I might try to put them in real close. I mean, I am fighting with them draining the water down some. It is on a drop, but at the same time, me casting them rods out there, that scallop don't want to stay on the hook. So maybe if I just give them a little, like you do with chicken livers, give them a little small yeet instead of a real yeet, maybe they'll stay on there. I'm loading them up because of the little baby scallops, the small ones, and I'm putting 3 or 4 of them on a hook. That way, even if I cast one of them off, I'll have 2 or 3 of them on there. The tank rod did get snagged on them earlier, so I have not reeled in one of these rods yet with them still having scallops on them. Even when I reel gently, they don't have scallops on them when I come in. So I know the lure force them off. Yeah, there's no scallops on there. It's gone. Hit them with a lighter or something, cook them a little bit, get them cooked. I don't know. I've had these on the bank for a while, letting them dry out, trying to see if I get some moisture out of them, if they'll toughen up a little bit. Boy, they smell fishy though. They smell like a good bait. They honestly do. Put 4 of them on here. Hopefully at least 2 of them stay on. If not, I'm just feeding the fish. Is all I'm doing. I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna literally cast it maybe 10, 15 foot out. That way I know I don't cast them off there. I cast them right over this line though. And of course, there's no scallops on that one either. I don't know how I cast it over that line, but I know it wasn't getting bites right away like that. But it is what it is, y'all. We're gonna put some more on this one and see what happens. try to get this out just a hair further than that one, but not by much. So I don't want to give it a good cast, because I know if I cast too hard, these baits are flying off. These baits will be flying off. I'm not gonna give it no good cast out there, because I'm afraid them baits are gonna fly off there. I know they're on there now, so we'll see what happens. See if we get a bite. Yeah, unfortunately, with my creek being flooded the way it's been because of all the rain we've had, uh, I couldn't go get no live bait like I normally do. Normally, I would go get bluegill before I come out, which was the plan, and that didn't happen. All right, well, let's see though. We'll see what it does, y'all. Worst case scenario, we'll catch a fish. It wasn't a skunk night. That's all that matters to me. Oh, something just tapped the carp rod, y'all. Maybe he'll commit. We shall see if he comes back and commits. I know this wind needs to stop because it keeps on blowing my line, and I can't tell if my line's going slack, because I had one do that to me earlier. I'd love to show y'all me getting one on. They did that to me earlier. I had a couple carps hit earlier. They would hit it and they'd bounce the rod like this, like they was on there, and then all of a sudden my line would go real slack, and I'd go to reel down on them and I'd feel them spit the hook. But with the wind blowing now, it's blowing my line sideways, and it makes it hard to tell if you're getting slack line or not. And then when you see your line got a slack in it like it does now from the wind, when the wind blows a certain way, it pulls it tight and bounces it and makes it look like you're getting a bite, or it looks like you're getting, you can't tell if there's something down there messing with it or not. Of course, usually you could tell pretty good when them bigger ones hit. Now I did downsize my catfish hooks since I'm running scallops. Normally I run 10 and 12-aught hooks. I downsized to an 8-aught. I actually downsized a couple of weeks ago. I've been doing quite a bit of fishing here lately. Well, I haven't been fishing the last week and a half, 2 weeks because of rain. But before that, I was going like every 2 or 3 days. Carp, how's it going? I just caught my first, what I do believe was a mirror carp about half an hour before, actually 10 minutes before I went live on here. I was live on TikTok, because everybody was asking me to go live on TikTok, and apparently you can't catch fish on TikTok no more. Because I landed a mirror carp, held him up, showed everybody, was excited, told everybody I was going to put it back in the water, went to release it, come back up the hill, and as soon as I come back up the hill, it said my live was ended because I violated guidelines. I'm like, how did I violate guidelines for letting a fish go? I'm like, that's ridiculous. But I just got a tap on my carp rod a minute ago. Let me show you what I'm running. It ain't nothing as good as you probably run because you have access to better carp gear than we got down here in the States. I gotta put some more pack bait on there anyway. We're not allowed to chum here also in Kentucky. You're not allowed to chum. So the only thing we can do is use method feeders and stuff. That line's all tangled up on there. What the heck is that going on? Uh-oh. No wonder I didn't hook anything, y'all. Give me a second. I gotta figure out what's wrong with my line, why it's tangled here. That ain't good. My line's tangled up around my method feeder. Don't know how that could possibly happen, but it did. Let me see here. I might have to re-rig this, y'all. No, I think I got it out. I might have got it out. Well, I might be able to get it out. There it goes. Alright, what I'm running is, I got a little cheap method feeder with some pack bait. I gotta put some more pack bait on there. Going down to my hair rig, a little size 3 hook, and I got the imitation corn on there. That's what I just caught that mirror carp on. And my pack bait's a simple pack bait, which I gotta go get back out of the woods because I put it up here. I put it up here to keep trying to move all my gear when it started trying to rain. My pack bait's a simple pack bait. It's just Payco breadcrumbs, corn, and strawberry jello. But I tell you what, it stays in there real well. I'm actually impressed. That little method feeder was a little cheap Amazon one because getting carp gear here in the United States is almost impossible. There's only like 2 places that carry it, and Amazon's one of them. But I tell you what, this pack bait stays on there real well. And I'm actually impressed with these method feeders. I didn't think they'd be that good as cheap as they were, but they work pretty good. So maybe a big old chunk of stuff on there. We're not, like I said, we're not allowed to chum here in Kentucky. So this is the closest we can get to it. I'm just trying to keep it out in the same area as much as I can. That way as it comes off. And that ain't, I'm gonna have to redo that one. That's way too close. That's way too close. That was 2 foot off the bank. Put a little bit more look on there since I just casted it off. Of course, I'm almost out of pack bait. We try a real cast this time instead of the side. I'm not looking junk I just did. I had the light in my eyes and just trying to side cast. I can't do that. Give me a step behind the light so I can see the water itself instead of seeing the light. There we go. That's what I wanted. Now I'm only casting the carp rod out about maybe 10 foot, 20 foot at the most. I don't have any extra weight on there, just method feeder itself, which is lightweight. There's not much weight on that method feeder. That's the only weight I've got on there. Yeah, I tell you what, I'm impressed by it. These, like I said, these are little cheap ones from Amazon. And I tell you what, I didn't think they'd work. I honestly didn't think they would work. But, cause I think I got 10 or 12 of the method feeders for like $16. I was like, those ain't gonna work for anything. They ain't got no weight to them or nothing else. But, get one out of the bag here. Just little bitty old cheap method feeders. Ain't nothing spectacular. But they only weigh about less than a half ounce. So I didn't think even, I didn't think they'd stay on the bottom at all. And I just got some cheap imitation corn. So all that is, some cheap imitation corn and stuff. So that's what we use them for the carp. See, people down here, people here in the United States, man, they're not smart enough to think about, carp. They consider carp a trash fish and everything else. Personally, I like catching them. I think it's fun. They fight better than most other fish. Really. I have to check that out then. Yeah, people mistreat carp here. I mean, I can't say I don't sometimes, because I do use carp for bait sometimes. If I catch anything under, 3 or 4 pounds, I may use it for bait if I ain't got bait. But like I've told everybody, if it's over 5 pounds, I don't care if I'm, out here starving and can't get bait. It goes back in the water. Exactly, they are fun, especially on this light tackle because that little green rod, it's a Lou Cat Daddy rod. I painted it green so you can see it in the camera, which works pretty good. It's fresh and green. But it's a Lou Cat Daddy, which is a light action rod. They say a medium heavy, but I tested it up against my light rods, and it's a light rod. Uh, and I got 12-pound fluorocarbon on there, so real light gear, light tackle. It makes it fun when you actually catch them fish. Just don't grab the line when they're running. I was never a big carp fisherman at all until last year. I'm not even gonna lie and say I was, but last year I accidentally hooked into I don't even know what kind of carp it is. I honestly don't. I think it was a grass carp. I had it on my channel. Some people said it was an Asian carp, but it wasn't an Asian carp because the eyes was where it's supposed to be at. It was a golden color, and it had normal carp scales, but I caught it on a piece of cut bluegill, and I tell you what, that thing fought me and fought me, and it had the biggest mouth I've ever seen for a fish, for a carp. It didn't have a bottom feeder mouth. That's why everybody said, no, it's an Asian carp, it's a big head carp. I'm like, that ain't a big head carp. They're like, it's a silver. I'm like, it's not a silver carp because it wasn't silver. It was gold. But I hooked into that fish. He fought me for what felt like forever. I mean, I got him in a few minutes because I caught him less than 5 foot, 10 foot off the bank. But I mean, I was sitting there cranking down on it to keep trying to keep up with the drag because he was running the drag out so fast. And after that, I'm like, you know what? He was fun. He was feisty. And then I come out here and I put me a carp rod together, and I was just using regular corn. I wasn't using method feeders or nothing else. And I come out one day and I hooked into a 18-pound common, and boy, he ran me to death. It took me almost 20 minutes to land that fish. He ran. He would every time I'd pull down on him, he'd run that line out like crazy. That drag was screaming the whole night, And then my brother was out here with me and tried to help me net it. And, well, that was a nightmare, considering the factor he can't net a fish to save his life. And as soon as that fish seen that net, I made the mistake of having my fingers too close to that line. I had burn marks on my fingertips for about, I say 2, 3 weeks. Because he took off running with that, and you could hear the reel just screaming, and my fingers was burning. Surprised you couldn't see the smoke coming off my fingers. That's what I was thinking. I'm thinking it's possibly a grass carp. I let it go, and everybody's like, "You shouldn't have let it go. It's an invasive species." I'm like, "It doesn't match any of the invasive species I've ever seen, so I'm not gonna leave it to die for no reason." I don't understand people. I don't. I've got a video of it, carping. I got a video of that carp on my page, on my YouTube. Go check it out. It's called. It's a short video. It's like 3 minutes or whatever. I'm trying to think what it's called. Give me a second. I'll look it up on my other phone. But I was just shocked, and I mean, I looked goose. My head went gooseneck because I did like this because I couldn't figure out what kind of fish it was. I'd seen them rolling all night, and then all of a sudden it just I landed it. Is the wind noise getting bad? I'm sorry. I apologize, y'all, if the wind noise is getting bad, because it comes in, it comes in, and it goes, and it comes and it goes. Let's see here. All right, give me just a second, y'all. I'm trying to see if this is a one or not. Yeah, Carpin, if you're still in here, if you get a chance to check out the video on my page, it says PB carp 18.2 pounds caught on cut bluegill. Uh, Maybe you could tell me what kind of carp that is. I mean, it kind of looks like it's a Asian carp. I'm not sure though, but it had a big old mouth. I mean, I don't understand. But he was caught on cut bluegill, and he was a feisty sucker. Come on, fishies, take the hook. Let's see. Check my weather again. Yeah, now it's just saying mostly cloudy, 5 mile an hour winds. The water is starting to calm down. I'm starting to hear fish activity. I was really hoping on landing a little drum or something on that night crawler rod so I can have some uh, bait, but ain't nothing committing on it tonight. I've had 2 or 3 good hits on it, but that's about it. Yeah, I got fish out there moving around now. I can actually hear them since the wind slowed down and everything else. Well, it's starting to pick up again, but since the wind slowed down and the water's calmed down a little bit, I'm starting to hear fish activity. Let me reposition this night crawler rod, y'all. Check the night crawler out and reposition it. So this shit done me get hits and it ain't getting hits. Night crawler's still good, he's still alive. That's in probably about 6-7 foot of water, so should be probably a crossbreed. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I wasn't gonna kill it though. I wasn't gonna let anything happen to it. I mean, oh, my light just died out. So we know how long that light works with power bank, y'all. About 4 hours. Let me grab another power bank and get my light back on. Well, that tests that theory because I was going to use it when if we take this trip to Kansas this week. I was going to test that theory, but now we know it lasts for 4 hours. I'm going to do my backpack. Here we go. Try to keep my light out of the camera. You know what? I didn't even put it on the good power bank either. That's why. There we go. Yeah, I bought a little camping I like trying out different lights and stuff and everything else because me being a bank fisherman, you got to limit what you carry. I'm already carrying 100-something pounds of gear. Every year I buy a couple different kind of lights and try them out. And this little light, matter of fact, I'll show you. It's just a little camping light right there. Looks like a little house light is what it looks like, but it plugs in the USB power bank. And yeah, it lights up the bank pretty good. It honestly does. I can see real good out here, and I have no issues with seeing. I think it was like $6 on Amazon, and it ran for 4 hours on one of my, almost 5 hours on one of my cheap power banks. So I'll take that as a win. Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. I can't tell. I've had people tell me it was a Asian carp, and I've had people tell me it was a grass carp. Nobody can tell. They honestly, I've had game officials and stuff tell me it was they couldn't tell me what it was. So I've had a few people tell me it was an Asian carp and it's against the law to release them back in the water. And then I've had game wardens tell me that wasn't an Asian carp. They don't know what kind of carp it was. And I'm like, well, if nobody knows what it is, I guess I did the right thing by releasing it. I just wish I wasn't so stupid and wouldn't have turned my dang. Normally when I'm down here, if I'm live or whatever, that's what I'm saying. It was confusing. And what was confusing was the fact that I caught him on cut bluegill. I had a piece of cut bluegill out there for fish up close, and he smacked that rod with no hesitation. And I didn't snag him; it was in his mouth. The hook was in his mouth. So I don't know. I don't know. He was fun to catch. That's all I know. Yeah, we have to release them here too. Grass carp are supposed to be. Well, I don't know about the in the river itself. I was told by one person grass carp are supposed to be taken out of the river, and then I was told by another person or a couple other people that are in the. Because I talk, most people I talk to are game wardens and officials and stuff. Hold on, I gotta check something, y'all. There's something out here in the water dancing. I don't see it now. Something actually come up, broke the surface of the water, and was on top of the water. It looked like it was spinning around on top of the water. I wanted to see what it was. It's out there about the same distance as my rods are, though, so we'll find out. See if it's hungry. I was hoping it wasn't. Thought it might have been one of the beavers down here. It might be. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good possibility too. Somebody could have released it. It could have been a pet. Well, the way I look at it is as far as I'm concerned, I'm still gonna go by my motto until I'm told otherwise. I don't believe in breaking the law, especially fishing laws, and I ain't trying to get no fines for anything I do. So I try to stay within regulation the best I can. So if the game wardens tell me I needed to keep it on the bank and not release it, then I won't release it. But if they tell me they don't know what it is and don't know if it should be released or not, it's getting released. I'm sorry. I'm a fisherman. I've got morals and respect for these fish in this water. We don't have enough of them as it is. I don't want to let any of them die. You know, that's just to me that's the wrong thing to do. This river used to be one of the best river systems that you could have. I mean, it was a, the perfect fishery for the longest time for many years. It had its same stories, that every place has got that's got catfish. There's catfish under the bridge the size of cars. Well, I believe they're there. I know they say it's a myth, but I know there's some out there big like that. I hooked into one a couple about I say about 27 years ago. That I can promise you right now, without a shadow of a doubt, and I have a witness. Uh, I hooked into one out there that would have been a world record, blue cat, and I guarantee you it would have broke 200 pounds. I never got that fish landed, and back then I probably would have done something stupid like try to uh, turn it in for a record, knowing that I couldn't keep it alive. I wouldn't have cared back then because I was still too young and didn't too naive. But this, since they've been using the commercial fishing's killed this river so much, they've taken all the catfish out, or at least 80% of the catfish have been removed from this river for the pay lakes. On top of that, they stopped they stopped commercial fishing as much for catfish and started trying to attack the gar problem. I mean, not gar, but the carp problem. Because we have the Asian carp, big head carps are taking over, and the silver carps, especially the silver carps, they're taking over so bad it's not even funny. I mean, I can come out here right now and throw a rock on the water, and you'll see them jump out. They're taking over. Now the commercial fishermen are focusing more on the carp than they are the catfish, which is making the fishing a lot better. But at the same time, the commercial fishermen are removing carp that they shouldn't be removing. They're not caring if it's a silver carp or a big head carp or if it's a common carp, which aggravates me. It really aggravates me. Carp are a very worthy opponent. They are a very worthy opponent. I would honestly say a carp will fight harder than a catfish any day of the week. I still love catching my cats, but carps are fun and deserve to be treated better. Come on, fishy, let's get at least one on the live. Just one. Doesn't matter. Carp, cat, drum, shark, piranha. I don't care. Of course, if I pull out a shark or piranha, my lives are all my videos and lives are going to change a lot. I can promise you that now. I pull a shark or a piranha out of here, I can promise you right now, my days of jumping in the water to get them fish might just stop. Yeah, my days of jumping in that river to get them might just stop if I catch into a piranha or a shark, I can promise you. I'm just wondering if anybody else is having the same issue I'm having. Night crawlers have not been working. For the last month and a half, night crawlers have not been producing, and I don't understand it. Especially like right now. We had 2 weeks of rain. You would think night crawlers would be on point. Night crawlers should be the bait to go to right now, but they are not producing. Normally, this time of year, heck, from June, beginning of June till September, I can't put a night crawler out without getting a drum every 10, 20 minutes. I haven't even caught a drum. Ooh, that ain't good. But that's what I'm thinking too, Eugene. I don't know. I'm just going to accept it for what it is. He was a worthy opponent. He fought good, and he deserved to go back and live another day. And that's the way I look at it. I've actually caught a lot of slack over that video. I've had people ask me to take it down and everything else because they said I violated the release policy on that fish. It wasn't supposed to be re-released, but I'm like, the game warden told me was that it wasn't what y'all said it was, so I go by what they tell me here. But yeah, I mean, I haven't had no luck. I don't know what it is. You can go back and look at any of my lives last year from, all the way from beginning of June till the end of August or September, and it's just as soon as a nightcrawler hits the water, bam, gone, bam, that quick. Last year on that purple rod, I went live, and that purple rod got, I think we sit down and counted it after the live. I think I caught 6 or 7 fish on that rod, and we had over 30 something bites on a 6-hour live. 30 something hits on that rod. on Nightcrawler. But I've been trying Nightcrawler for the last month and a half, and we haven't done anything on it. I think we've only caught one fish on Nightcrawler in the last month and a half. Of course, fishing, I don't know, in general, I don't know if anybody else is having the same issue I'm having. Fishing ain't been like it normally is. It honestly hasn't. Normally by this time of the year, especially as much as I've actually went out. I mean, I haven't been on YouTube much, but I've been going out with a buddy of mine who's on TikTok, and we just been out here fishing and recording, and that's all we've been doing. And normally by this time of year, I done landed probably 20, 25 cats, if not more. And I think I've only landed about 10 this year, and only one of them, well, maybe two of them, been worth catching. I'm wondering if some of what my problem is that barge. That's probably going to affect us the whole year. We had a barge overturn about five. I want to say I'm probably 5 miles if you follow the river down. 5 miles from the locks and dams, the falls of the Ohio as they call it. I'm maybe 5 miles down from that, at maybe six at the most. And they had a barge overturn that had like 55,000 tons of corn and feed. And I know people at the falls that was catching them fish said they was pulling the catfish in the boats and they was spitting corn out. So I'm wondering if all my fish that normally congregate in this area have all moved downriver to the corn. I know falls fishing down there by the falls, um, it's picked up and improved a lot. Ryan Bortz was out there. Some just jumped out of the water. Ryan Bortz was out there like a couple weeks ago, and I think they said they got 6 or 7 that night. So they're biting, at least down there. And now I'm starting to get a lot of the wind. Now I'm gonna jinx myself again. The wind has finally calmed down. The water's calming down. I'm starting to get fish activity. They're starting to jump and stuff again. I guarantee if I had a bluegill out here, I'd already landed a fish or two. Guarantee it. I just couldn't get any bluegill because my creeks are overflowed. This river last night was up, or yesterday I should say. Yesterday this river was up by 8 7 8 foot, and they've dropped it since I've been here. Now I'm looking at it now. It's at least 3 foot. They've dropped it overnight. I know they're trying to keep it from flooding with all the rains coming in, but man, they dropping it quick. Yeah, guarantee it. Guarantee it. I've wanted to try using maggots for bait fish. I just can't get past the icky factor, man. Cannot get past the icky factor. I've got a series I'm going to probably start here soon about using stuff like that, but I can't get past the icky factor of maggots. Honestly, can't. I've had to deal with maggots a lot. Actually, my daughter had to deal with maggots about 3 months ago in her cat's ear, or above his ear. She's got a little stray cat that she takes care of. She calls her cat, and I tell you what, if I was to go on any social media site and do updates and videos about that cat, I could go viral in a day. I guarantee you. He is the most beat up, mangy looking cat in the universe. He fights everything. He's a brute. He honestly is. He's got scars from head to toe. Half his fur's missing. We've done had to clean maggots out of wounds twice. But you know what? This cat will come into that house and he'll hear her voice and he'll come running and he'll go jump up in her bed and ball up next to her and sit there and suckle on her finger like a mama, like he would off his mama, and lay there with her all night. And she can sit there and brush his hair with all the mats and everything else, rip his hair out with a brush, uh, paint his toenails, and he just lets her do it. He just loves the attention. Oh, I guarantee you, I know they have their place. They definitely have their place. But yeah, this cat he is something special. He honestly is. He is definitely something special. I told my daughter I'm gonna start recording her with that cat because it's just cute and adorable. I swear to you, it is. We won't see that cat for 2 weeks because my daughter won't be at the house because she don't live with me, and she'll come over for the weekend or whatever, or for a week to stay out there at my house. We won't see that cat the whole time she's gone. She'll go outside and she'll go on the front porch and she'll holler for him. She calls him Juno or something like that. And she'll like, Juno, Juju, or something like, just makes these funny noises. And about 5 minutes later, here comes that cat running across the street, half his fur missing, limping, and he'll come in the house. She'll brush him out, make sure he ain't got no maggots on him or whatever from the wounds. He'll come in and she'll sit there and doctor his wounds up, and he'll let her do it. He sat in a chair one night and she was joking around. She said, "You know what he needs? He needs a good collar." She goes, "I'm gonna go get my pink choker collar out of my room and put it on him." And I looked at him when she walked out of the room. I said, "Bud, run! You better run. She's about to put a pink collar on you." And he just gave me this look like, "But she loves me. I can't do it. I can't leave." And he sit there and let her do it. She put the collar on him and started brushing his hair, put little barrettes in his hair and everything else, and he just let her do it. Didn't budge. They've got a bond that is just unbelievable. Here, fishy, 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 fishy. What time are we looking at? We all got about 20 more minutes, and I got to end this stream. I got to work today, so I got to go home and get a few hours of sleep. Hopefully, one of these rods will go off here before then. Kind of bites. I hate leaving right at this time because right at sunrise, sunrise is 6:24 or 6:23 here. But at the same time, I got to get home and work, or get home and get some rest before work. But I tell you what, right at sunrise is when them fish start rolling through here. At least the gar do, or they were coming through here. Which don't do me no good because I don't have no cut bluegill. I missed one about 3 weeks ago. Broke my heart. Uh, But I don't mind gar. Everybody else don't like fishing for gar. I don't mind catching them. And I'm trying to get my 3 species. I got to get 3 separate species over trophy size for the year to get my Master Angler Award. and I'm trying to get it. I didn't even know we did that here in Kentucky until this year. It's the first year I've known about the Master Angler program, or I would have done got it about 4 or 5 times already. But since I found out we have one, I've been trying to do the Master Angler Award, and I got the blue cat already. Now I've got to get two different species that are trophy fish. Oh yeah, definitely, definitely Carpin. That's the whole thing. When she got him, he had been astray his whole life, and nobody took care of him. I mean, my neighbor fed him, but other than that, nobody gave him love. And he's actually a sweet cat. He honestly is. Even though he's a brute and missing half his fur and looks like he's got the mange, he's a good cat. But yeah, I hooked into me and my brother was out here and we was getting ready to pack up. Hadn't had much luck. We caught like two small fish the whole night about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And it was actually probably about a month ago, probably. Because it was a week after, it was the weekend after I caught the blue cat, my trophy blue cat I caught. The next week I come out and we was packing up because we couldn't get no real bites. Fish wasn't biting good. And sure enough, the gars started moving through here because for some reason they don't stay in the area, but they come through. Like you just thousands of them come through at one time, like they're heading to a migrating or a spawning spot. And that rod went over, and I caught a small gar, probably about 3 foot. Let him go because he wasn't big enough for my trophy size. And sure enough, cast it back out, and that rod was in the water less than I'd say 2 minutes, and it was on that green rod, and that thing went over, and I went to grab that rod. I think it was on the green. It was either green or pink one. I got a short for it, but I ain't put it out yet. Um, and I grabbed that rod. He took it over, and I grabbed that rod. When I did, he literally tried to yank me off the bank. I had to step forward 2 steps because he pulled so hard. I've got my drag set on those reels at about 20 pounds, or well, about 18 pounds. And I tell you what, he was pulling the drag out like it wasn't even like it was set on 4 pounds. He was yanking so hard I couldn't even hardly hold on to the rod. He moved enough out there to come up to the top of the water long enough for me to see he was close to 6 foot, which would have been my trophy gar for the year, which would have given me my second species. Sure enough, I had him on the line for maybe 5 minutes or 4 or 5 minutes, and then he spit the dang hook. Last month we had baby sturgeon moving through here. They just released a bunch of baby sturgeon into the river, and a buddy of mine caught one on Nightcrawler, and I've been trying to duplicate that ever since. Well, about a month and a half ago, right at sunrise. That's another fish I've never caught, sturgeon. That's one of my bucket list fish. Yeah, the gator gars are massive. This was just a long nose gar. This was a long nose gar. They've just started releasing alligator gar back in this river um, about 11 years ago. They're trying to get the population back up because we used to have them here. And due to overfishing and stuff and pollution, all of them's gone. You know, there hasn't been an alligator gar caught out of the Ohio River in close to or in Kentucky, period, up until they started releasing them in almost 25 years. There wasn't one caught. They pretty much said that they was no longer in the water, period. Well, they started putting them back in the water, and they put them in the tailwaters. They didn't put them in the actual Ohio, but they put them in waters that connect to the Ohio, and so they're trying to repopulate it because they was already here before. They figured put them back in where they're supposed to be. Plus, like they said, that could help out with our silver carp problem we have. Because I guarantee them alligator gar eat some silver carp. They love shiny things, so that's what they need to think about if they want to get rid of these silver carp. They need to reintroduce a lot more alligator gar. I've never got a chance to catch one of those either. But see, that's my fault there. That's my fault right there on the lack of species. I've never, my whole life, I've been fishing for close to 40 years. Well, 45 years when I was a kid, but I've been trophy fishing for 35 years, and I've always targeted catfish. I didn't want to catch anything else. I've always wanted to catch just catfish. Yeah, they do. Little roadside ditches. They love those little ditches. Fish are starting to wake up, y'all. I'm starting to hear them jump. They still ain't biting my hooks, but hearing them jump. The sun's starting to come out. It's starting to peak. You can see the change in the camera. It's starting to try to come up over the hill. It won't be totally rose for another 20 minutes, 25 minutes, but it's starting to come up over the hill. So this should be prime time for the carp to hit too. I only got a few more minutes and I got to start packing up. Yeah, I got 10 minutes and I got to start packing up. We need to get a fish to come through here and hit my line before that. Get one fish on the bank. Be nice to catch one of them baby sturgeon coming through. Chris, how's it going? I don't know if I said hi to you earlier or not. Yeah, it'd be nice to catch one of them baby sturgeon coming through here. That's a bucket list fish for me as a sturgeon. I don't care if it's a baby or if it's a giant. I'll be happy with either one of them because I never caught one. The one he caught was like 2 or 3 pounds, and he said it fought worse, fought better than a 15 pound, 20 pound blue. So I want to see that. Oh yeah. Well, like I said, I don't know what's going on just yet. We're supposed to be leaving unless things change. We're going to be leaving Thursday night or Friday to head to Kansas. I'll be in Kansas and Missouri for about 5 or 6 days, um, unless things change. And I got somebody down there supposed to put me on some massive flatheads if they're not still spawning when I get down there. He's done landed six this year over 50 pounds. Well, he's landed 12 over 50 pounds. He's landed six that would in the 80-pound range. So he's gonna put me out there and see what we can do. And I also found out they got sturgeon out there too, 3 different types of sturgeon in the Kansas River. So I'm gonna try to see if I can't hook into one of them while I'm out there too. It's gonna be an expensive fishing trip, I tell you that now. Because I think the out of state, from what they told me, the out of state license is gonna cost me right at right at 45, $50. And if I want to use more than two rods, I got to pay an extra $8 a day to use an extra rod. So yeah, it's gonna be an expensive trip. Plus, I'm gonna be staying in. We'll be traveling to Kansas every day, but I'm gonna be staying in Missouri. So it's gonna be a crazy week. Very crazy week. So I just gotta see if it's gonna happen or not, or if something. Make sure. Hopefully nothing changes. Chad, how's it going? Hopefully nothing changes. I don't know. Well, like I said, we supposed to go down there for my son's wedding. He's postponed the wedding, so now we're just gonna go down there because everybody that was involved in the wedding, all my wife's friends and stuff and family, have done taken off work for that week because of the wedding, and I've done taken off for that week and can't get those days back. So we figured, you know what? Everybody's off work down there. They're expecting us down there. May as well go ahead and do it. I mean, her friends was nice enough to get us a room set, well, a half a room set up down there uh, for us to have a place to stay. So least we can do is go down there and show up. Plus, her friends, they come down to Louisville a couple years back, and I tell you what, they're great people. We had a blast the whole time they was down here. They come down here fishing with me one day. I had a great time. Had a real good time. I'm kind of excited to go. Kind of excited about the trip. At the same time, I'm kind of not excited about it because I really don't know about traveling all the way down there. But I do want to. I do want to see our friends, and do want to go down there and uh, try out different rivers. Try to get on some different species and some bigger species of fish. And I'm also a diehard strange music fan. I listen to Tech Nine and strange music. Yeah, definitely. Um, like I said, the guy that I'm gonna go down there and fish with, he's landed. He's got a picture on his Facebook right now of him holding a flathead up, and he's right at 6 foot. He's holding a flathead up with both hands like this, and the tail's almost touching the ground. He lands some monsters. He's done told me he'd take me if he even if he can't get out and go fishing with me, he'll take me to the spot or show me where the spots are at where he's catching these massive flatheads. So that's a plus. Plus, what I was saying about I'm a diehard strange music fan. I love strange music, Tech Nine, and all the rest of strange music. Matter of fact, last year I built the Tech Nine, or well, the year before last I built the Tech Nine rod and brought it out here and went fishing on Strange Day with it. Um, I found out the place we're going to be staying in Missouri is actually less than, it's 7 miles, 12 minutes away from Strange Music Studio. So while I'm down there, I guess I get to go see where my idols make their music. So that's going to be a plus. All right, y'all. I'm going to start packing up my gear. I'm going to leave my rods out. I'll probably end this live right when I get ready to take the rods down. But I'm going to leave them out until I get packed up. It's going to take me about 5-10 minutes to pack up. So leave these rods out and see if we get a pack up bite. See what happens. I am going to try to go live if I do make it down to Kansas. I'm going to try to go live while I'm down there and try to get some video while I'm down there. See what I can put on the bank. If I can figure out how to get my rods down there, that's the issue I'm still facing. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to get my rods down there. 7 foot and 7'6" rods that don't break down are kind of hard to get into a small car. I may be able to get rid of this light here in a second. Go ahead and pack it up because the sun's coming up pretty fast. I don't think I'm gonna need this light much longer. Put the bait knife up. Don't need it. Didn't catch no bait. Shouldn't need my headlamps. Put them up. Actually, no way. I'm gonna leave one out just in case. I still gotta walk through the woods when I get out of here. You can tell the difference without the light, but it's still alright. Yeah, this is a little light I'm using, y'all. For anybody that bank fishes that don't want to carry a lot of gear or can't carry a lot of gear, I picked this little bitty light right here up, this little camping light on Amazon. I think it was $6. Got a little on and off switch. About a 6 or 7 foot cord that plugs into the power bank. And I tell you what, it'll do the job. It'll do the job. Put it on a pole somewhere up high enough, like I got it right behind me. I only had it about 7 foot behind me, or 7 foot up in the air, I should say, and it lights up the bank pretty good. And on the cheaper power banks, I had it running for 4 hours, so I'd say that's a plus. And it's lightweight, very lightweight. So far, that's been one of the better lights I've bought because I've been trying a bunch of different lights to try to save space and weight, and it's been the best one so far. Yeah, I think I'm gonna order probably 10 more of them. Um, I don't know how long they're gonna last because every one of those LED lights I buy don't last long. But I tell you what, it's bright enough to do the job, and yeah, it's lightweight, easy to carry, which is what I need. As a bank angler, especially at night, that works. Also, I'm debating on, if I ever get the money up to do it, I'm debating on getting me a kayak and start fishing off kayak every once in a while. And if I'll be fishing at night off the kayak too, so that'd be a nice light since it's lightweight. It won't put extra weight on the kayak. Give me a telescopic rod. I got the lever holder at the house to lay it down, raise it up. So I've already got some of the gear for it. So all I gotta do now is get the kayak. And I gotta bring a trash bag down here, pick up some of the trash. I've been picking up everybody's trash that comes to them that they're leaving on the bank, and I've accumulated a nice pile up here that I've got in like Walmart bags and stuff. I need to get a trash bag and come up here and get everybody's trash picked up. I hate when people come down here and leave their trash on the bank. Ain't nothing worse. Hey, all right, now let me see here. There's that. I'm not gonna need my chair anymore, so I'll go ahead and pack it up. Well, y'all, I wish I could have got on a fish, but it don't look like it's gonna happen unless it happens in the next 2 or 3 minutes. I don't see it happening. They don't seem to be interested in what I've got to offer. I haven't given up hope on the using those scallops though. First time I've tried them, I'm not gonna give up hope on them first time and say they don't work. Got to try something a few times. Uh, but I am gonna have to get some of that magic bait thread or get some pantyhose or some kind of to keep it on the hook. I know that for sure. We won't stay on the hook. Get in the bag. Something big roll right out there in front of my purple rod. I'm gonna take that piece off there. Getting on my nerves. Well, y'all, for the first time in my life, I think I'm gonna reel in my catfish rods first. Normally I don't do that, but since I've been getting more action on the carp rod and everything else, and I want to keep the nightcrawler rod out of there, uh, guess I'll pull in the catfish rods first, especially since I know there probably ain't no bait left on them, because that stuff keeps on coming off. So that's what I'm gonna do. Finally got me a new fishing bag. I usually carry all my gear in these big fishing bags right here on your back. Mine's all tore up. It's been used and ran through the mud so many times. Finally got me a new one, and I don't want to use it yet until I find out about this trip, because I don't want to put a dirty, nasty bag in the car. So I'll wait and see if we're going to take a trip. Then I'll use my jumping bag. That bait's gone. Yeah, like I said, I'm not too impressed with the scallops as far as staying on the hook. I think if they stay on the hook, they do better. Guaranteed we get some fish with them. But they don't stay on. Maybe next time I'll just microwave them or something and get them all tough like leather. I've got a bunch of them. I've still got another half pound at the house. So I may put one in the microwave it for like 30 seconds and see if it still smells fishy like it's supposed to. If it toughens up. Right. Next we'll try the nightcrawler rod. Finger hit the trigger. Or the clicker on it. Old nightcrawler's still on it. Yeah, they're out there jumping still, but they still ain't hitting nothing. So it is what it is, y'all. All right, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and end this live. I don't know, y'all don't want to see me rolling the last pole and throw my rod holders in. As soon as I end that, I'm gonna put this in the bag so I can pack it up and get out of here. I appreciate everybody for coming in that did come in. Wish we could have got on fish for y'all, but you know it's fishing. Sometimes you catch them, sometimes you don't. And I will catch y'all later.